Welcome to another edition of Cocktails at the Tangiers with the host whisperer, Nick Ippolito.
Yes, sir. Drinking my mug out of my mug right now.
The host whisperer. We need it to be like a 40-ounce mug if it's going to be your full title, right? The customer service and player development.
No, it was casino player development, customer service, sports, online gaming, and the host whisperer. Yeah, I don't know how we're going to get all that on a mug.
Speaking of hosts, I'm your host for this evening at the Tangiers, Craig Shacklett, CEO of URComped. I feel overdressed. I'm here in a polo shirt and a hat, and you look like you just got finished filming some adult movie or something. What's going on with the robe?
We did. Candy, take a break. This is from Soboba, and my buddy, one of the greats in PD, X-Rayism. Do you know X-Ray? Do you know Ray over at he's at Soboba now, but he's been everywhere, Pachunga and everywhere. And I was just at Soboba, and I did player development, and I'm going back to do casino customer service. So I'm getting more and more of this customer service. But player development went great at Soboba, and I was actually gifted many things that I couldn't even fit on the freaking airplane. Hard Rock Tulsa does the same thing. They give me so many things. But Ray was like, you better take that robe, and you better do a podcast, and you better send me a picture. So Ray, it's beautiful. Look, it's got a hood and everything, man. I love it.
It looks comfortable.
It's 108 degrees in Vegas, so it's too warm. But I wanted to wear it for our Tangiers. You know, everybody else has these boring videos they show. People are like this far away from the camera, and it's all blurry, or they do something like this. You and I have to keep it fun, man. We got to keep it.
No, I love it. Yeah, I'm in front of the bar. You look like Rocky Balboa.
Cocktail. You're in Tangiers. You're at Cocktails at Tangiers.
I'm in the Tangiers.
Yeah, hey, I would come to I would stroll up to the bar like this. You know that. So
right after your prize fight, put the hoodie on. It does look like you're stepping.
I know,
out.
Right? I got gloves. I got to put my gloves on. I don't want to block the Soboba. They were so good. Beautiful property. Wow, beautiful property.
Yeah, I'll have to go check that out. That's down in Southern California?
Yes, sir. By near Morongo, yeah.
Beautiful. Well, I know you said you did player development, you're going back out for customer service. You recently posted an article, The Elephant in the Room, Security.
Yes.
Casino security. And for folks that didn't read it, you posted on LinkedIn. Talk about casino security and your thoughts in regards to overall customer service.
No, I think we should make them go read it and then come back.
Okay, pause, read it, and then come back. Okay.
We're back. You read it. So that article was about, it focused on security, but of course it's the segue into what I teach, and I teach casino customer service, not just customer service, casino customer service. And the reason for that is, I teach non-gaming employees the importance of player development and the assistance we need in player development. And I crown them all in the great words of Henry Paisano, right? Everybody's a casino host. I took that and I've been hammering. Some of these classes I do, they don't even know what they don't know the tiers. They don't know how many tiers. They don't have, So there's a lot we need to talk about in the upcoming, because this reward center thing is a big thing, I've been preaching there's no loyalty. I've been preaching there's no value in the card. Everybody's talking about free play. It doesn't matter. There's no trick or anything to free play. You just got to deal with it. You just got to navigate it, and you got to use it in the right ways and make sure you're not using it in the wrong ways. But the article started out with security because it's just too apparent now. All these years traveling to all these casinos, we got too many rent-a-cops, right? We got too many rent-a-cops walking around. I hope they're watching. I hope they're mad at me. I don't care. That is not the place for them. On the casino floor is not the place. If you want to have a SWAT team in a back room, geared up and gunned up and vested up, and a red light goes on and they hit the floor for an emergency, that's fine. But walking around these little casinos, or these casinos in the middle of nowhere, or these casinos that aren't that lavish even. In fact, the big lavish ones have more played down security than these little casinos that I go to. And they're walking around dressed almost like cops. And the worst part is comes with an attitude. Comes with an attitude. I can arrest you. I hope you mouth off to me. I am authority. I am the law. I've been to places, Craig, where they treat the employees like that. The security treat their fellow employees like that. It's ridiculous.
Now, how do you recommend casinos can
stop hiring cops? Stop hiring
cops.
police background. You know, now don't get me wrong. There's a few out there. Boot Hill Casino. They have guys in charge who have police background, but they get the customer service piece. They understand the customer service piece. The Soboba guy just asked me about it too. The manager of security. And it's got to start in the interview process. It's got to start with understanding that the policing part of it is 10% of they can't even arrest anybody anyway. They got to call the cops, or they call tribal police, right? They can't arrest anybody anyway. So we have to start focusing on customer service being the priority, and being the preliminary thing that the job entails.
Now, how would you recommend a casino evaluate themselves on whether or not they've got good, friendly security, or they've got ones that are in the danger zone like you're talking about?
You asked the greatest questions, man. They need to. I can't answer that because I don't think they are. I think a lot of them, like I said, they hire a militant leader, and he's not guided or coached. I mean, when I talk to them, they're not militant, and they're great with me. So I know they have a person, all right? But it just comes down to communication and leadership. They hire a militant background person to run. And so he thinks he needs people out there on the floor that are militant, that are militia. And, I'm going to tell you the greatest story. I was at Hard Rock Punta Cana not too long ago. And a lady was checking out that I know, and Al DeLeon, everybody knows her in the industry. She's a huge player. And she lost $600,000. And the whole time I was there, every experience that I had, I made a note in my phone, and I said, is this the same experience somebody who loses 600,000 gets? And the answer ended up being yes, right? We can't have that. Can't have that. There can't be any disparity in the slot attendant, the security guard on the floor, the EVS cleaning, and the casino host. There can't be any disparity in that. They have to be the same individual. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you want loyalty, and you want to build brand and story and all this stuff. It's got to start with that. Players, that's all they care about, right? And then you have this top tier component, and nobody's celebrating it. Nobody's recognizing it. Only the hosts are. Only PD is. Front desk, security, EVS, servers, chefs, cooks, housekeeper. They should all be recognizing these tiers and this top tier player that we have.
And would you recommend that to recognize it, they say, thank you for your loyalty, sir? Or what would be something simple that somebody listening to this, that they can implement tomorrow? So I know they should be reaching out to Nick Ippolito to get the full training. But let's say they want to test something. Oh, that works. And then they're going to go for the full money. What's something they can do tomorrow to be like, all right, we're going to start doing this with our top tier players?
So every director, first and foremost, every director should come in tomorrow. I'll give you today off. Come in tomorrow and walk the floor as a player. Pretend you just lost $50, $500, $5,000. Pretend that you saw a billboard on the way in, and everybody was laughing and smiling, and everybody's having a good time. The next billboard, the cheeseburger looked like beautiful cheeseburger, beautiful pickles, right? So pretend you're that person, right? And you see those billboards, and you come in and you lose $2,500, $5, $50, $10, whatever it is, right? And now walk around with your staff, and what is the experience that you're getting, right? I lose 5,000. You can walk around and go like this to me. Got to put your mask on. Got to do that. Got to do that. Blah, blah, blah. Right? So I think the first thing they need to do is get out on the floor, get with their staff, educate their staff, get with PD, get with marketing, get with the director of marketing, get with PD, understand what these levels are, these tiers. Let us show you the players. Let us show you what some of them lost. right? Some of the people they throw out and blackball in 86 have lost $1 million with the property in a year, right? They don't understand that because they're only trained and communicated for the militant stuff, right? So that would be my first thing. Get out there, understand what the experience is, what the true experience. There's customer service, there's customer experience, and there's customer recovery, right? They have to understand what the true customer experience is. Go sit in the coffee shop and sit near the kitchen. And if the guys got the radio cranked singing Mexican songs, right? Make a note of that. It's not their fault. They're having a great time, and it's hard being a cook and a chef, but they need to understand, hey, we can hear you out there. And the guy could have just lost 2,500, right? Mm-hmm. Or maybe he just wants to get away and he wants to enjoy his experience. So that's the first and foremost. The directors need to get out there and understand what goes on out on the casino floor and what the experiences of a player is.
Some executives may be hearing this saying like, look, we're not that big of a casino. If I'm walking around, they're going to know it's me, and maybe I'm not going to get the authentic player experience because they're going to step up their game and see me walking around. What do you say to them?
Yeah, well, then get smart, work smarter, right? Hire a team, hire what are they called? Spotters, right? Mm-hmm. Do survey. I tell you, the best casinos I've been to run surveys. They run constant surveys and constant focus groups with their players and their guests, even retail players, whatever. Those get the best results and the best information and the best data, and put that through AI, right? AI is nothing without data, right? Put all that data through AI and come up with solutions. We're talking this because we both know online gaming's on our coattails. I say in almost every last 7 interviews you and I've had. And the only way we're going to beat them is with customer service. It's the only way we're going to win. So, get those surveys out, get an idea of the experience.
I agree 100%. And it honestly makes the job easier of a manager or director when they have outside objective feedback that they could coach an employee with. Because if they're just walking around like, I felt like this, the employee, oh, no, that's not how it is. But if they're like, hey, here's a survey that came in and said, you did this, that makes it a lot easier of a conversation with an employee.
Sure. So I think that what you said was so true. CEOs do walk the floor, right? They do. But how is a CEO going to walk the floor when like the parking garage sprung a leak, right? And he's running, he's got 1,500 million things to do. He ain't got to worry about the security guard leaning at the podium, looking like a tough guy. So you definitely need that outside. And plus, if you worked at a property for 20 years or 15 years, you don't see it.
Yep.
I guarantee you, I just said this in my last customer service. I named all these things that I saw. I guarantee if they hired me as a PD director tomorrow, I would be like, yeah, that's just how this place is. It's just, that's how we are. I mean, there's no wrong or right. There's no judging. There's no, it's just an outside, it's learning, growing, listening to outside. Yeah. Outside spotters and surveys are I think they're a great way to go.
And that's a great point too. Even if a director could walk the floor and not be recognized and gets the authentic experience, if he's been there for 5 years or even 2 years, he won't notice like, oh, this is actually kind of bad.
Right. And he would be recognized. Should we mention that you and I are available for any spotter trips? Craig and I will just pay our way and we'll stay in your hotel and we'll
as long as it, the property's on the beach or in the forest or somewhere beautiful.
Yes, it has to be on the beach. Yes.
Fishing nearby is a requirement for you.
Yes. We'll go back to the Philippines, although they don't have these issues, but yeah. So, here's the other thing I stress with leaders, and I do a lot of leadership work and a lot talking to leaders. And, there's a lot of militant with leaders. You could be a food and beverage leader. You could be a reward center leader. I've seen that militant approach with all leaders. I use security in the article, in the example, but I've seen militant with all leaders. And the first thing first, leaders have to go to each employee and say, I work for you. What do you need from me today to be successful? What do you need from me today for you to be happy with your job? What do you need from me today? Of course, it's going to be money, but not always. I read everything that that's listed out there, and it says employees don't do it for money. They don't do it for money. They do it for recognition, comfortable workspace, right? Comfortable work conditions. So first thing is leaders have to go out there, and I tell properties, and they hate this, CFOs hate this, but you got to do three things. A leader has to motivate their employees, incentivize their employees, celebrate their employees, and you have to have accountability. You have to have HR needs to step it up, baby. The next article I write, I'm bashing HR. They need to step it up. They are too comfortable. They're too scared. They're too quiet. They're too comfortable. They're uneducated. They don't know the laws verbatim. They don't know the policies and the laws verbatim. We need to step it up. What did I say first? Incentivize means money. Pay me when when I do good customer service. Pay me when I have good surveys. Pay me when you recognize me doing something customer service wise, right? Motivate. What's my motivation to do good customer service? What's my motivation? It's as simple. It starts with that. If I worked here 17 years and no one said a word to me about anything, well, I'll work another 17 years, right? Celebrate. When you find a good dealer, when you find a good employee, when you find a good housekeeping person, put them up on the billboard, buy them a car, rent them a car for a month, right? Let other employees go, hey, what are you doing with her or him? I want that. You have to celebrate it. You have to expose it, right?
Yep.
The other one is accountability. Accountability, HR, accountability. I go to places and I walk the floor with the CEO, with the GM, with the director of HR, and we pass the reward center or something. And I'll go, nice place, really nice place. And then behind my back, I'll go, what's up with the Smiley over here? And there's usually a, resting bee face, right? Behind a counter. And I always get the same response. Well, she's worked here for 30 years. What? Who cares?
Right.
That's not we don't identify with RBF yet, do we? We identify with everything else, but not RBF yet. That has to be addressed. I truly think security should tone down their outfits. I believe it's the Cosmopolitan that their security force is in bright pastel, blazers and a nice t-shirt. They don't even, and they walk around. If they see you lost, they talk, they engage. Very, very important. Talk, engage, recognize, right? And I think the first thing you do is tone down all these outfits. They look just like cops. And then I understand some places I go say, well, a guy got stabbed or knifed the other day. That's fine. Then again, have an elite crew in the back. I'll feel comfortable. You would feel comfortable, right? With an elite crew in a room, waiting for that red light to go on.
Mm-hmm.
The red light goes on, they hit the floor, right?
Yep.
But walking around, listen, I see, the worst casino shift managers, not in the pit, the ones that are shift managers for the floor, some of the worst attitudes I've ever seen walking around casinos. More ego than one man or woman could obtain.
Well, Nick, I think you've hit your quota for pissing off people today.
Yes.
HR, casino shift managers. I'm sure there are a few more that I'm forgetting. Security guards.
You know what? You know what's beautiful, Craig? The ones that aren't like that are cheering me right now.
Yep.
That's the thing. The shame about customer service is if I do a class of 300 people, 15 people cheer me. Sadly, it's not going to work because the other 200 and something, I can't do math right now, but the other 200 and something aren't going to do it. Mm-hmm. But it's those ones that cheer me that I'm here for you. I'm here for you.
The remnant. Yeah. Well, hey, this is great. I think you gave executives a lot to think about. You got to go out, evaluate your floor. And we advise getting a fresh set of eyes. Oh, yep. Nick is, he's got the gloves up. He's
baby. Come on. Raging Bull, Raging PD.
So, hey, get a fresh set of eyes on your floor, figure out what you're doing well, who are not delivering great service. And then you got to hold those people accountable and then incentivize people that are giving great service. Nick, this has been, as usual, an insightful, wise, just chock full of knowledge session of Cocktails at the Tangiers. Thank you, sir.
We have to
Don't
tag
like you to dress up so much.
X-rayism. We got to tag him when you post.
You got it. All right, sir. Well, until the next time.
And also, take a look at URComped. URComped.com.
Let's go, baby. URComped.com.
Get on that. Get on that, folks. Get on that.
We're getting more and more casinos signing
I know you
up.
are. I see that. I see that.
That they just want a new pipeline of new players, because we've got close to 500,000 players signed up on URComp.com. They're always looking for somewhere new to try. So if you're looking for new players, hit us up. I'm Craig at URComp.com. Nick, where do people go to find you to get some of your amazing player development, customer service training?
All over the place. Ippolito.com. I'm on my way back to Talking Stick in Arizona. About to go see John Fernandez. And then I'm at Morongo and all that good stuff.
You need to make a t-shirt like the 2025 Nick Ippolito World Tour.
The World Tour. Yeah, the World Tour.
All right, my friend. Thank you,
brother.
much.
Thank you, man. I can get on. It's 109 now. I got to take this off.
Yeah. All right, let's get off. Thanks, Nick.
Take care,
sir.
See you next time.